To make his second straight Friday night start, he'll face an offense that's fourth in the country in batting average and first in home runs with 131. The Southland Conference will begin the final weekend of its regular season tonight. First place Southeastern hosts Nichols at 6 p.m. and Northwestern State visits McNeese State. LRN. LSU softball lost in the SEC tournament to Georgia 7-3 last night. The Tigers will now wait to see if they've done enough to host an NCAA regional. The Cajuns blanked Troy 5-0 and will play top-seeded ULM at 4 p.m. today. In the Conference USA tournament, Allie Furr's RBI single in the 8th helped Louisiana Tech edge FIU 2-1, but La Tech played again last night and lost to third-seeded Liberty 9-0. The Bulldogs play an elimination game against New Mexico State at 4 p.m. today. McNeese hosts Lamar tonight in the first game of the Southland Conference Championship Series. The Cowgirls have won 25 of the last 27 meetings against their rivals to the west. A power forward from Brazil who plays professionally in Israel has committed to LSU men's basketball. 23-year-old Marcio Santos reportedly chose LSU over Kentucky. He's averaging 7 points and 4 rebounds a game and is a good shooter from the perimeter. LRN.
KSYL.
Breakfast is such an important part of the day, and what a better way to jumpstart your day than at Atwood's Bakery. We have always had croissants and cream cheese Danish and cinnamon pecan biscuits, hot coffee, teas, milk, or juice for that breakfast on the go. And now we have so much more. A full-blown Southern breakfast with cooked-to-order eggs, Applewood smoked bacon, sausage gravy, and Papa Mark's grits or Southern fried hash browns. Come and sit down with a cup of hot coffee and free Wi-Fi. Breakfast hours start at 7, Tuesday through Saturday. Atwood's Bakery, baking memory since 1977.
Joey from Vermont, a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton, and I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
KSYL.
Everybody's been cheering school cell phone bans like they're the cure for everything wrong with kids today. Well, a new study dropped. The verdict barely moved the needle. I'm Kim Commando for WebRoot. WebRoot Essentials antivirus protects your devices without slowing you down. Right now, get 62% off at webroot.com/Kim. The National Bureau of Economic Research tracked 40,000 schools through 2026. Test scores basically unchanged. Attendance same. Online bullying same. Suspensions actually jumped 16% in year one. Here's my take. Phones are not the disease, they're the symptom. Until parents put their phones down, kids are not going to suddenly fall in love with algebra because a Yonder pouch ate their TikTok. My prediction, 5 years from now, schools quietly walk these bans back. The play at home is phone-free dinners, phone-free homework. Lead by example. Banning phones at school, but not at home is like putting your kid on a diet and putting Pop-Tarts in the pantry. Get my free newsletter at getkim.com. I've tried a lot of antivirus software over the years, and when something better comes along, I switch. That's why I've moved to WebRoot Essentials. WebRoot Essentials is a cloud-based AI-powered antivirus app that was designed to evolve with today's threats. It's fast, lightweight protection that works across all my devices without slowing me down. If you need another reason to switch, get this. WebRoot Essentials recently ranked #1 in independent Passmark performance studies against 9 other brands, like Norton, McAfee, and even Microsoft Defender. The study found that WebRoot Essentials scans 6 times faster, uses far less memory, and takes up 33% less space on your computer. I've seen the difference WebRoot has made for my devices, and now you can too. My listeners get 62% off WebRoot Essentials at webroot.com/Kim. Get the #1 ranked antivirus protection for just $19 a year right now at webroot.com/Kim. webroot.com/Kim. Go now while you're thinking about it. webroot.com/Kim.
Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Talkback for Thursday, May the 7th, 2026. And this is your Froggy host, Nathan Martin, tuning in with our Froggy co-host, Stephen Maxwell. We're just Froggy up here. Stephen, how are you doing, sir?
Sorry.
it ain't your fault.
I
well,
pass it along to Nathan, and it's been going around the station a bit. It's been it just lingers. It's like, I hate to make you feel bad, but it just gets like 3% worse every day.
A lot.
Yeah.
That's encouraging. Not. I am surviving with my, for those who are watching online, my generic brand sore throat spray. I started using that around 2 o'clock. No, actually 12:49 exactly. I woke up at 12:49 because I'd gone to bed before 10, rarity. And I looked at the clock. I thought I'd slept all night. I thought it was going to be 5 o'clock like I normally get up. And it was 12:49. I'm like, oh, okay. And my throat was a little scratchy. And then 2 o'clock, man, burning razor blades in the throat. And all that
Oh,
stuff.
that bad, huh?
That's when I picked up this.
My throat hurt, but it wasn't like, it was not extreme.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. But the throat does hurt. It's just the congestion and the voice thing.
Let me put my headphones
Little
on
malaise.
so I can see if I really sound bassy or not. Oh, I do. Hey, look at there.
You sound pretty sick.
I can do the J.D. Sumner's Stamps Quartet. Didn't he sing for Elvis at one time? I think he sang for Elvis.
That's over my head.
Yeah. Well, Gold City Quartet, here I come.
And I promise you, we don't believe it's the hantavirus.
I mean, that one's starting to raise alarm bells all over the place. People are tracking that pretty seriously because is this
for over a week now because of that cruise ship, the Dutch cruise ship that had the outbreak of hantavirus. 3 people died. And then they learned it was the Andes strain, which is like the one rare strain in the human. So it started off 3 people, a Dutch couple and a German national, died in the outbreak on the Hondias cruise ship. 8 people, including a Swiss citizen, are suspected to have contracted. The Dutch government on Wednesday said around 40 passengers had disembarked the ship in Santa Helena, where the ship made a stop as it was going to Cape Verde before the outbreak was reported, and the whereabouts of many of those passengers is yet unknown.
That's a problem because you think about what if some of those have it, they're unknown carriers.
Yeah, and then it can be dormant for 8 weeks before symptoms, they said. One of those to disembark was the wife of the Dutchman who had died aboard the ship on April 11th. She fell sick and died before she could reach the Netherlands. I think she got sick on the plane. And Dutch airline KLM on Wednesday said it had taken the woman off the plane in Johannesburg, South Africa, due to her deteriorating medical condition. It has been confirmed that it's the Andean strain. It's a very rare strain of the virus. But of course, after coronavirus, it's getting everybody worked up.
Yeah. Didn't you say, or did I hear you say that a flight attendant has been...
I just heard that from a report this morning that a flight attendant on that plane is showing minor symptoms at this point.
I think there were 17 American passengers on that ship, including that travel blogger who, if you listen to the earlier show, the America in the Morning podcast, they actually played the clip of him almost crying that I had seen Sunday night. It's like, this is not just some headline. We're real people and, we're scared.
Yeah.
So, it's really shaking. Well, I tell you what.
Well, I know we got a young early audience, but everything's going to be cool. It's just one of those things you're just monitoring, but it's all going to be okay.
And my point was
talk
going
about
to
it
be,
later.
It's a good day to have National Day of Prayer because, when things like this come up, what do? Well, we turn to prayer for comfort and assurance. And today is the National Day of Prayer. There will be observances all over Central Louisiana, 3 at least that I know about. There's one in Ball that starts at 11:30, goes to 1:30. That has been going on for maybe, and Porter Ball from 12:15 to 12:45. And I know that because I've coordinated it. And I made the joke last night, though, that if I wasn't coordinating the when I the ball you and I just pray. So, but the big is tonight at 6:30 out of the Philadelphia Baptist Church in DeVille, and I want to clarify, just make sure everybody understands. DeVille is Philadelphia Baptist Church is being gracious to offer their facilities, but this truly is a community-led effort. There'll be pastors from, 8 or 10 different churches there, and quite a diverse group of denominations. It's one of the highlights of the year for me. I'm honored to get to participate. I've been invited by Pastor Ricky Belgard, who's coordinated that for many years. He pastors at Hopewell Baptist Church in Center Point, but Philadelphia has allowed their spacious facility to be used for this every year. And I want to encourage people, if you can, to go out. The National Day of Prayer is always on the first Thursday in May. So set it down in your books when you're looking forward. It's always the first Thursday in May. Goes back to the Continental Congress for Death and War, which had people on edge, and leaders like Billy Graham who were calling for that. So established in 1952, 1988, President Reagan set it permanently on the first Thursday in May. And so all around the nation today, you can go to nationaldayofprayer.org website if you're listening to us from another area. As we are finding more and more, we have listeners in other areas. Go to nationaldayofprayer.org and you can find a prayer gathering near you. And, when no matter what the issue is, whether there's a virus on the other side of the world or politics in town or whatever's going on in between, today's a good day to pause and pray. So
absolutely.
Looking forward to that.
Great events. And like Nathan said, with everything kind of going on, and you can say that all the time. It's always good to pray. I'm sure it's going to be some great events across the
other important news, and I think is that 2 schools in Rapides Parish are closed today due to flooding that took place in the heavy rain yesterday. You got some balcony view of that storm, didn't you?
Oh yeah. The hail was coming down and the rain. And Smith closed this morning due to some flooding issues. And the school board was saying that they are taking some time yesterday, of course, as soon as it happened, to clean it out as much as possible, but they said they cannot safely return the kids to school this morning.
Very proactive in getting that word out early yesterday to the community. And so if you have children at Arthur F. Smith Middle School, used to be known as Jones Street Junior High, or Alexandria Middle Magnet School, which used to be known as Alexandria Junior High, those students are out today only. Today is the final day for seniors at Pineville High School. Yesterday was the final day for seniors at Tioga High School. Both of those schools will have their graduations next Friday. Tioga will have it in their stadium, and Pineville will be at Rapides. I don't know the data for Ash, but if you know Ash, Bolton, Peabody graduations, I'm sure their last days are, yesterday or tomorrow for the seniors. And my daughter, who is graduating, got a little breakdown yesterday. As we were, she was leaving school and just kind of stood there and cried for a little bit, like it's over, and it was very emotional for her. We had something really neat happen. We went and took some senior pictures. Forget if it was Monday night or Tuesday night. We were up at Pineville High School. She had her cap and gown and some props that she wanted. And my other daughter, Faith, was taking the pictures. And while she's taking the pictures, there was an orchestra event taking place at Pineville High School that night. And former principal Dr. Carl Carpenter, and his wife were attending the orchestra event. And they came out and he photobombed her, ran up behind her and did the rabbit ears, and she didn't see him. And then she turned around. It was a big laugh. And so she asked for pictures with him. And then moved over to the grassy area because so many people were going to blinds and photobombed her through the blinds. And then he came out and took pictures with her. So she may be the only graduating senior that has pictures with both Dr. Carpenter and I appreciate both those folks. I mean, I'm a graduate, and all my so far have graduated from there. Isn't
Oh, yeah.
Buy some bricks out there and just put us all in a row.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So congrats to her and all the students out there. Exciting time. It was a fun time too. I remember when I was a kid back in the day. So I think I could say back in the day now if I want to.
I think you can. You're in your 30s,
It's been
right?
about 15 years. So
As my daughter, who is from Colombia and speaks English as a second language, says, in the way back days.
in the way back days, that's right. back before y'all had all these fancy iPhones.
That's right. Yeah, we were, so every now and then she gets a little jealous. Did you do this with, our older daughters? I'm like, they didn't have iPhones in school. They were lucky to have it's called the A9 predictive texting, where you just press the button 3 times, get a letter or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was the extent of texting back then. Although those kids were really good. They could do it with their phones in their pockets.
Well, you had to pay like per text, and so you get in trouble if you texted too much.
I remember when AOL first introduced email, and I think there was another service called CompuServe, and those were the two biggies, and then Prodigy came along. I'm really dating myself, and for you to send an email from AOL to CompuServe, it cost 25 cents. Can you imagine if it cost money to send an email from one provider to another?
It's crazy, isn't it?
Well, my inbox wouldn't be as full, that's for sure.
No one would talk to you with your Samsung. Not here in America.
Get out of town,
It
bro.
would not
Samsung
happen.
is on the upswing.
It is good. I like them.
Yeah, they're good. And I like iPhones. I love to pick with people, but
iPhone shoots better video, which is why I have it.
do you use the HEIC format for the video, or is that the JPEG? I mean, is that the image format?
What?
Never mind.
Next.
iPhone has a proprietary image format. It's called HEIC. It's not JPEG.
Oh, dude, I
It's
don't
not
know.
PNG. No? Okay.
Sorry.
Well, Sinlaw's Tech Minute will
yeah, I don't know.
coming in at 8 o'clock. Matt moved his day from Tuesday to Thursday. As you know, he's traveling quite a bit of these days with regards to run for the National Association of Realtors National Treasurer position. And that is coming up. I'm sure he says that he will tell us it can't be soon enough, but he's really, I think, enjoyed that. His family's got to make some of those trips. He's been to most of the states. We'll find out this morning how many of them. But he's going to be talking about the Central Louisiana Economic Update this morning, and we're looking forward to hearing him at 8 o'clock. But between now and then, it's open lines, 318-442-8255. That's the number you can call. And, man, I got to tell you, I'm really digging my voice this morning in the headphones, because the headphones add a little bassiness anyway.
And you got the deep
like
voice,
extra,
Yeah, that's the good part about being sick in broadcast.
I want to call my wife and say, hey, baby.
Yeah. How's it going?
Hey, how about Iram call us this morning? We need some new antics from the Maxwell household.
Well, she finished her finals yesterday, so she might have some time.
Oh, she might be sleeping in.
She was
not with Sophie now.
She was not in a hurry to get up this morning. So.
She was, or she was not?
She was not.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
So, Sophia was starting to get up when I left.
So she finished. Is this her first semester?
No, she has summer semester left and fall, and she's done. So she's graduating December.
Great.
Almost there.
Great.
So it was an exciting time for them finishing up yesterday.
I enjoyed visiting with her at the Alzheimer's event we had last week.
I didn't know y'all never met each other.
No, in person. I felt like I knew her because we've talked about her so much. And I'm a stalker. I follow y'all on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. I would have sworn y'all met several times. I forgot. So
now I know.
Yeah, we need to talk about that Alzheimer's thing, too. Eventually, we'll try and talk. Both Nathan and I are on the Alzheimer's Association here in town, and we have our big walk coming up in September.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd love to have some teams. If you're a company or just you and your friends and family want to join us, it's an important event, raising awareness, trying to find a cure for Alzheimer's. It's going to be at Ward 9, September 19th, I believe. But if you want to start a team, Nathan and I will love you forever, and just hit us up, and we'll get you signed up.
Yeah, we'd love to. And if you just want to make a donation, he and I are competing against each other to see who can raise the most money.
Well, Nathan's winning by far right now.
Well, just for now, though. But you have the media spotlight, so I have a feeling that you'll be garnering those contributions.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So we'll see. Please hit us up if you want to join. We could use it for sure.
Absolutely. Either one of us would be glad to pass on the information to you. All right, so we're going to take our break, bottom of the hour break that we always take around this time, that Bloomberg News update. When we come back, I got an update for you from Rapides Parish Sheriff Mark Wood, talking about speeders over on Highway 121. And we'll talk a little sports with perhaps maybe play you that segment from Sinlaw Broadcasting's exclusive reporter, Al Quartermine.
That's right.
Nice to see him be a reporter under you, Steve.
That's what I told him. I was like, I'm going to make you my sports guy.
He would eat that up.
He loves it. It's just he doesn't probably want to stay out all night covering sports.
That's true. All right, back with more on Talkback after this.
KSYL.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Surging oil prices are reshaping the skies. Jet fuel costs for the airline spiked by more than 56% in March from the prior month. Higher fuel prices have forced carriers to increase fares and baggage fees and cut routes. Spirit Airlines said higher oil prices drove its decision to end operations this past weekend after more than 30 years in business. Checking on the market, stocks soared yesterday on hopes the war is near an end. The S&P 500 hit another record high. This morning, traders are watching every development out of the Middle East, easing tensions, giving a lift to futures this morning. And the soaring price of beef weighing on Shake Shack. Shares are tumbling this morning after the burger chain reported quarterly revenue that missed Wall Street expectations. Shake Shack didn't raise
the Rapids Parish Library app is here and free for iPhone and Android users. Has it before you buy it. You'll get event updates, account alerts, and directions to your nearest branch. All in one place. So go ahead, put the library in your pocket. Download the Rapids Parish Library app today.
We'll say at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Now, cloudy skies tonight. We're down to 62 for the overnight low. And then for Friday, showers early in the day. Some thunderstorms developing later. Afternoon highs near 74. From the Sedlaw Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, do 8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
Now back to Talkback 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
We welcome you back to Talk Back. It is the 7th day of May. First Thursday in May, always the National Day of Prayer. Events taking place later today. The BOM Talk line is open, 318-442-8255. I think I've scared people away, Stephen, with my voice, because this may be the first time in my recorded history I can recall there not being a single phone call during our opening segment. So
I know.
Maybe everybody's saving their powder for Matt coming up in hour number 2.
That's right.
So before the break, I told you about a phone call that I had from Sheriff Wood last Tuesday. You might recall, this past Tuesday, 2 days ago. We had a caller who's called in a few times complaining about speeders, specifically the dump trucks along Highway 121 in the Boyce area that are hauling dirt to that new AI center. And the caller you said that he was frustrated with it, felt like they were, flying by him. And I asked him if he had called state police or the sheriff's office. He said no, he was just hoping that the word would get out via media and that his minions would hear about it and tell him about it. Well, he actually called me later that morning. If you recall, I was leaving Tuesday, headed to Baton Rouge, and he called me on the way to Baton Rouge and said that somebody had told him about it. And he wanted to let me know that they had deputies up there. He said it's a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. He said they don't set those speed limits. That's a state route, 121. And so they were out there. They didn't find any trucks speeding excessively. They found one private vehicle going 62. And then yesterday, I was at the Lieutenant Governor's tourism luncheon. I guess the Explore Alexandria Pineville's tourism luncheon that the Lieutenant Governor spoke at, and you covered that as well. And Robert Beauregard, his chief deputy, pulled me aside and he said, "Hey, I'm one of those minions. I was listening and I told the sheriff about the call." And he said, "We did stop someone doing 72 in a 55. It was a local residence in a private vehicle. It wasn't one of the big trucks." He said, we are sending folks out there when we can, and we're trying to, we're responding to it. And so I wanted to make sure I passed that along. I thought the responsiveness of his office to call within an hour of us having talked about it on the radio was really complimentary. And then I believe they reached out to you as well, didn't they? Are you going to do a ride along with them?
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. Yeah, we'll have something going, I guess. We still suggest you call the sheriff instead of
us. Yeah, we're not the crime tip line.
Yeah, we're not Crime Stop.
What is the Crime Stoppers number? I don't know. 442-STOP? I have no idea.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, don't trust my words right there. But kudos to Sheriff Wood and to his crew, writing the tickets, having the people out there, and being responsive to the public. And I'm sure if you call and let them know what's going on, they'll be. All of my experiences with them have been exemplary through the years, and so I appreciate him taking the time to call. Did you hear about the recall attempt on Governor Landry?
Yeah, I just saw something about it.
You saw something new?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Well, there's a couple of folks down in, I think it may have been Cleo Fields District, who have launched a recall petition. And some people are starting to get pretty excited about that. I mean, getting fired up about it. I don't know if they'll get I think they have to have 500,000 signatures within the next 6 months. But sounds like there may be some fire under some people's fireplace. So, hey, let's go to the phone lines and talk to the first caller. Good morning. You're on Talk Back with Stephen and Nathan.
So, I feel sorry for y'all that nobody's called in.
Thank you.
I'm really happy to hear that caller's calibrated eyeball that could somehow read the speed of dump trucks was off a little bit, and they weren't actually speeding. So that's a relief to me. But I called in on an environmental update.
Okay.
So yet another staunch environmentalist that warned us that the earth was warming and was going to kill us all has passed away. And yet the earth continues to turn.
Uh-oh.
As the world turns, the environmentalists, like all of us, if the Lord tarries, will die one day. So Ted Turner passed away, but the earth continues to live on. So just an environmental update. Second part to that, Al Gore was speaking at the Hollywood Reporter environmental event this week, and he said the earth was not warming. Actually, the danger now was the earth was going to get too cold.
Wait a minute. What?
Yes, look it up. The Hollywood Reporter and the Actors Environmentalist Guild, I believe was the name of it. But you can Google it. And Al Gore told them that the earth was cooling at an alarming rate now. So, for those of us that are old enough to remember, we remember the first Earth Day. We were told that that there was a coming ice age. By the way, the guy that formed the first Earth Day was a guy named Ira Eichhorn, who was actually a psycho-murdering maniac who hacked his girlfriend to death and hid her in her trunk for 2 years in his apartment. And they all told us that the earth was going to be cold and an ice age was coming.
I remember
Right. So, before we believe these, and not that I'm into accurate predictions, but, if she lives long enough, Greta Thunberg will actually die before the world ends. It's the most arrogant thing in the world that mankind believes that it can determine the outcome of God's creation.
Well, you are smarter than I am, so let me ask you a follow-up question. I heard a report within the last day or two that the ozone hole is actually shrinking. Have you heard that? Yep, that's right. But,
remember that we were all that our mom's Aquanet in an aerosol can was going to diminish the ozone, we were going to burn up. Remember that?
That's right.
Yeah, it was just a way to get rid of aerosol cans. It's a myth. I mean, look at this. The last 2 springs we've had. We've had the coolest springs. I mean, we all remember those books like what was his name? Ehrlich's book, Population Bomb.
Yeah, that's right.
And we remember the book Too Much Room, which inspired the movie Soylent Green. All those apocalyptic environmental movies and books and studies. They don't know what they're talking about. It's all speculation. But anyway, just remember, the environmentalists will long be, if the Lord tarries, if God doesn't end the world, the environmentalists will all die and the world will continue to turn.
Amazing how that works. All right. Well, thank you for that information. And I'm looking into this Hollywood Reporter thing. That seems like he might have to swallow a little bit of crow. I'm going to ask him if he needs some salt with that.
Well, I'm so glad that the polar bears that he said would all be extinct by now. Since the Earth is cooling, they'll be okay. And you remember his movie where he said all the snows of Kilimanjaro will be gone by 2030.
Wow.
And I'm so glad with the cooling that we're experiencing that the snows of Kilimanjaro will still be there.
Well, only a couple of years away. We'll find out. Doesn't look like it's leaning that direction. Hey, man, I always appreciate your call and your insights. Let's go to the next line. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Stephen and Nathan.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
That last caller always sets off a lot of things, and I'm actually calling about something else, but I did want to touch on that. I am concerned that our planet, that we do be good stewards of this planet. I remember when the ozone was shrinking and there was a hole in it. And I remember we had a neighbor when I lived in Lafayette. I grew up in Lafayette. We had people move in from Los Angeles across the street, and their paint on their car looked really weird. And I got to mow their yard for them, and I found out it was because of the smog in Los Angeles was so bad that every morning they said we had a black layer of soot on our cars, and it ate your paint off your car. And now we've done a great job, especially in America, of cleaning up the mess that we're making. And as we grow and as our abilities increase, I think we do need to be careful about. I remember the acid rains in Canada, and but we've done a great job. But what I'm calling about is there are people that took that information, those little tidbits of information, and then they tried to use them as a pry bar to politically advantage one side of the equation in order to gain control. You know, no matter warming or cooling, their answer is socialism. And they found a home in the Democratic Party. And so yesterday I called in to ask Al about something that he had said that I wasn't sure about, and I wanted to get his clarification on that. And today I want to ask Stephen about something, if he doesn't mind. Maybe you can save your voice, David, for a little bit. But very often issues come up, and callers like the last one will point out things, and they're usually about the Democratic Party. And right before y'all go to a break or something, Stephen will always say, yeah, but the other side is just as bad. You know what I'm talking about, Stephen?
I don't know, Dave. Which one are you talking about?
Okay. Well, I'm not talking about anyone in specific. I'm talking about you just habitually seem to end the discussion with that, and then the next hour comes up and you'll go on to something else. And it seems like an equivocation taking place, at least in your mind. And I was wondering, do you really see the parties as equally threatening to the future of America and our way of life?
I'm not gonna argue politics or give my political opinion anymore as much as possible.
Well, you do it all the time, brother. I'm not trying to catch you in anything. I'm just trying to say, when you equivocate those two, in my mind, when I was your age, I began getting involved listening to the station in the 80s. I wasn't quite 30 in the 80s, but anyways, I began to see that most of the problems that callers were calling in, they all came from the left. And one party has been captured by the left. And so I personally believe that the threat to my grandchildren comes from the left. And but yet Dave used to do this when he was the MC on the show. He would always say, "Oh, but they're both just as bad. They're just as bad. It goes both ways." And he would deflate anything anyone said by that equivocation. And I don't think they're just as bad. I see the ideology of the two, and in their platform, they don't hide it. One actively wants to implement political ideology and policies that have been detrimental everywhere they've been established. And the other, even though they do it failingly, their goal is the American system that brings freedom. Vivek Ramaswamy, did y'all hear his speech yesterday when he won the nomination?
I heard
he talked about his parents. Oh, it was great. It was like Lincoln. He came and he said, look, I came to this, my parents came to this country. I was born here, and my dad worked as an auto worker, and my mom worked at the VA. And now, I'm running for governor of the highest office in this state. And he said, it's the American dream. Now, the American dream will never be accomplished through socialism. We'll never because the concentration of power, as our founding fathers always warned us, concentrated power allows for the corruption by the sin that is within the heart of man. It will never not be corrupted. And so, we are now in a position where we are practically affecting things. And so,
well, Dave, how many times have you heard me say that I am concerned about the socialist wing of the other party and that it's burgeoning, and we're seeing it in LA now, Seattle, New York.
Yes, and that's why I'm wanting to hear you clarify.
I just don't want to sit here and answer like my political opinions all day, and I'm not paying attention to the same things you are all day, and I can't just come up with an answer on all those things. But
well, you're paying attention to a lot of great things, and you do a great work for our community. But I'm just wondering why you felt at the end of every time Al makes a point, or Nathan makes a point, or a caller makes a point, you that little chicken as they're going out the door. Yeah, but the other side is just as bad.
Well,
and I don't think I say it that blanketed. I mean, I have to have like a specific reason or a specific instance where you think I'm doing that or what I'm saying.
Well, I know you don't have time to listen to old shows, but
tell you what,
I've already made my call.
I'm 5 minutes.
Yeah.
What do you say? I can't hear you.
Thanks. Y'all have a great day.
Well, he said he made his call and he was going to go. Let's go. Dave, thank you for your call as always. I'm behind on this break. We'll try to make it up after this.
KSYL.
Pineville is growing, and people are taking notice. In just over a year, Mayor Joe Bishop has worked to make Pineville a place where businesses can grow and new opportunities can take root. By being accessible, cutting through red tape, and working directly with business owners, projects are moving forward and investment is happening. From local entrepreneurs to major employers, Pineville is building real momentum. Let's keep it going. Vote Joe Bishop for mayor.
I'm Joe Bishop, and I'd appreciate your vote.
Paid for by the campaign to elect Joe Bishop.
Starting a business shouldn't feel overwhelming. At Janikin Gulf Coast, we give you a clear, proven path to ownership. You receive guaranteed initial accounts, local support, and the training you need to succeed from day one. For over 35 years, we've helped people turn steady careers into thriving businesses, and you could be next. Start your journey today at JanikinCleans.com.
Janikin, the king of clean.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL. Now back to Talk Back.
All right, welcome back to Talk Back. Lines are lit up. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning. You're on Talk Back with Stephen and Nathan.
Yeah, we need to get back to the middle of the road. It's just like the Pretender song, in the middle of the road that I can't remember his name. The guy, he passed away, the right-wing...
Rush Limbaugh?
Rush Limbaugh used to open up with that song. But we need to get back to the middle of the road. The far right, the far left, it's a small... the extreme far right, the extreme far left, it's a small portion. We need to all get back to the middle of the road.
Well, I didn't get a chance to enter into that last part of the conversation, but I understand where I think Stephen's coming from when he says the other side, and I think what we're talking about is the extremes of each side are equally extreme and equally pushing. And personally, I'm not a fan of the closed primary system, and I'm not a fan of the strict two-party policy or system. And Dave, you can call back Tuesday and set me straight. But to me, it genders polarization, and I haven't thought this through. I'll admit it. So I may be naive in my thinking, but to me, it would be better to have a coalition where you have to create cooperation, as opposed to you're pushing each other as far away as possible. And so we see that on the left, it's the Marxist socialists who are driving it far, 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 far left. And I don't know how to describe those who are driving it to the right, but I don't think the vast majority of America are on either side of the extreme. Now, I did see a graph recently where somebody showed the middle of the road, and their claim was that the left is the one who has widened the road, their direction, and so they claim that the people in the middle are now on the right. I can't make a valid argument for or against that, but somehow some level of cooperation, like you're saying, middle of the road. I don't know the song. I can't say I know anything about it, but I think there's got to be more communication, cooperation.
Well, I would say this, and if he's talking about something I said yesterday, which I don't know why I'm answering this question, but if we're talking about money in politics, and that's a problem on both sides, is allowing our politicians to be paid off. I think that's a problem in all of American politics.
Yeah, good deal.
Ideology-wise, I really try not to give like my very personal opinions, but the fact that I get labeled as I guess a middle of the road liberal or something is just laughable.
Well,
it's just,
I wouldn't
anyone
put
knows
there
me
at all. But all right, we got another call. We got 2 more calls. Let's see if we can get them in. Good morning. You're on Talk Back with Stephen and Nathan.
Hi, good morning. 2 things. Number one, yes, both parties are a mess, Stephen. It's just one tends to align with a certain group of people a little bit more than the other, and vice versa. Our whole system is a mess because people are not directed and working for the right things in life, whatever we all feel that may be. Everybody's out for their own benefit. And number 2, did we lose the 2-minute rule over the last few months? It used to have a 2-minute rule, and so I'm sorry for the guys that go, substantially longer than their time.
Yeah, I've got
for the rest of us that are, for the rest of us that have to listen to that mess, it's a little bit long. So sorry that y'all have callers that call in and do all that and talk about all that. Y'all do a great job, and we appreciate it. It's in law. And you are awesome, and we hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate every call. I have been lax. I don't know that I've ever cut somebody off unless a phone. I
didn't know we had a 2-minute rule. I'm going to start.
Well, that was way back in the day.
I'm going to take the board over and just cut them off.
All right, let's go to another call. Good morning. You're on Talk Back with Stephen and Nathan.
Okay, 2 minutes. One thing, Ted Turner was a great man. Ted Turner was a great man. He just got mixed up with that woman. What's her name? I can't remember her name.
Jane Fonda?
Jane Fonda. He lost his mind when he did that. But he was a great man. Another thing, too, I don't know if humans can change the weather, but they can absolutely destroy the environment. And they do it all the time. And one thing, California is one of the most beautiful places on earth. I don't see why anyone would want to go anywhere else. Go to California.
It is beautiful, but it's so expensive.
It is beautiful. It's complete. I'm glad it's expensive. Keep the people out.
We kept me out. I only went once.
Man, it's just incredible. I can't believe any place on earth is like California. And there's a whole bunch of stuff. Well, I had to go to traffic court in Virginia recently.
Yeah.
And, I was doing 38 and 25 school zone, and they wanted me there. That was the most funniest thing in the world. I've never been to a courtroom before. That judge wasn't taking anything from anybody. He was giving, this lady said, what part of homeless don't you understand? He gave her 30 days for contempt.
Ooh, wow. Let me ask you, though, why are you not in California as you love it?
Well, how do you know I'm not?
I don't know. I just assumed you just said you paid a ticket in Virginia. I guess you're one of those guys that gets everywhere, right?
I don't know. I just wherever wind blows me. But the thing is that Ted Turner was a great man, and I'm gonna miss Ted. And but just a whole bunch of stuff. When I was in that courtroom, 2 people got arrested for following too close to another car, and I was happy to see it. I was happy to see there, and 2 people got arrested for leaving the scene of an accident. The judge gave them 90 days.
My goodness, they not playing.
They wouldn't. That judge, they wouldn't play in. I had 30 days. They gave me a $300 fine and an online driver course.
Wow.
In Virginia.
Okay.
I'm going to go back.
Well, you got off kind of easy with a small fine and an online course. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for your call and your travel tips. We're not going to speed in Virginia. We got to take another break. Last one of the hour. We'll come back with the final segment.
KSYL.
Problems. Everybody hates them, but from time to time, everybody's got some. And that's why everybody needs to know about Southern Air Heating and Cooling. Heating or cooling problem? Call Southern Air. Plumbing or drain problem? It's Southern Air again. Your power's out and you need a generator? Guess who? And you can keep those problems away this winter with a heating tune-up. Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling now at 318-777-5555 or visit us online at southernairnow.com. Business owners, managers, and industrial leaders, this is your moment to shape the future of Central Louisiana. Join us for Rally the Region, a dynamic, free event bringing everyone together to strengthen our workforce and grow our economy, featuring nationally recognized speaker Mark Perna, delivering insights on building the talent pipeline your business needs to succeed. Happening Tuesday, May 12th from 8 to noon at the England Airport Community Center. Don't miss your seat at the table. Register now at rallysinlaw.com.
Remember when eating corn right off the cob was one of your favorite summertime treats? Or how about taking a big bite out of a crisp, fresh apple? If it's been a while since you enjoyed these delightful activities, chances are your teeth are no longer up for the task. But now there's great news. The folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville are Cenla's dental implant experts. They're both highly trained and experienced in the procedure. Now with thousands of completely satisfied, delighted patients. They make dental implant surgery simple by using today's most current technologies, along with in-office IV sedation administered by a highly skilled certified nurse anesthetist. You'll be in and out before you know it, without all the anxiety. Plus, at Today's Dental, their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Go back to crunching all your favorite foods. Give Today's Dental a call at 448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. That's 448-4540.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for takeoff.
United Express flights to Houston are taking off in May from Alexandria International Airport. Reservations are now open for twice daily flights operated by SkyWest Airlines. Skip the drive. With nonstop service to Houston, you're one step closer to nearly 200 destinations worldwide. And if you're a United Mileage Plus loyalty member, you can earn miles for your flights.
Houston, we have liftoff.
Book now at flyaex.org/united. Reunited, and we're so excited.
You smell that? Spring. Hibernation's over. It's time to run it. Run it until the grass becomes lawn and the hedges duck and cover. Then, run it again. Still, get up to $50 off select AK battery tool sets. Offer valid for limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talk Back.
All right, welcome back to Talk Back. Final segment. Here's a call, 318-442-8255. Good morning, caller. You're on the line with Stephen and Nathan.
So I hate to violate the double dip rule and the 2-minute rule, but I just want to say smog has nothing to do with ozone.
Okay.
The warm air from the Pacific meets the cool air coming off the Sierra Nevadas and causes a temperature inversion, which leads to fog. And the exhaust fumes from the cars becomes smoke, which means smog. There's nowhere for it to go. Has nothing to do with the ozone. The acid rain in Canada had nothing to do with the ozone either. The unfiltered particulates from coal factories went up into the clouds and seeded the rain clouds and rained back down on the forest. Had nothing to do with ozone or global warming. Stephen, you do say one side is just the same as the other, and I'll give you a particular incident, and I agree with you. You said that both sides gerrymander, which is true. The Supreme Court said that gerrymandering based on race is not constitutional. It offered no opinion on ideological or party gerrymandering. So you do say that, and I agree with you sometimes. So keep at it. One last thing. Both parties are the same. Say it with me, class. Meet the new boss.
Same as the old boss. That's the first time I ever got to say that with you. Al always gets to say it with you. Thanks for calling. Try to get one more caller in. Good morning. You're on Talk Back with Stephen and Nathan. Oh, he hung up. Well, that might give me a chance then to play this cool little piece I heard from Marco Rubio at the White House podium. Listen to this.
By the color of your skin, by your ethnicity, but frankly, it's a place where you are able to overcome.
Let's go back. The question is, what is your hope for America?
At a time such as this. My hope for America? And how do you personally deal with that? Yeah, look, I mean, my hope for America is what it's always been. I think it's the hope I hope we all share. We want it to continue to be the place where anyone from anywhere can achieve anything. Where you're not limited by the circumstances of your birth, by the color of your skin, by your ethnicity, but frankly, it's a place where you are able to overcome challenges and achieve your full potential. I think that should be the goal of every country in the world, frankly. But I think in the U.S., we're not perfect. Our history is not one of perfection, but it's still better than anybody everybody else's history. And ours is a story of perpetual improvement.
Perpetual improvement. America. Marco Rubio. Back with more after this.
Should I say?
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenlaw Broadcasting.
AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3 HD3, Alexandria. It's 8 o'clock.
China is getting more involved. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, trying to end the Iran conflict, which has cut off oil shipments with the U.S. blockade on Iran's ports. And China is ordering companies there to ignore American sanctions.
So just a couple days ahead of President Trump's trip to China, the Chinese are hosting Iran's foreign minister. President Trump is trying to wind this war down before his visit.
Fox's Peter Doocy reports from the White House, says the U.S. awaits Iran's response to a proposed framework of a deal.
Officials here from the president on down seem to think that they are getting pretty close to achieving the original goal of this war, which is stopping Iran from building a nuclear bomb.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio has just left the Vatican after spending the last several hours talking to Pope Leo, who faced strong criticism from President Trump over his criticism of the U.S.-Iran conflict, calling for peace.
So we'll wait to see if Secretary Rubio was able to ease the tensions between the president and the Pope. Rubio made it clear, though, guys, that was not the main point of this trip. He says this visit had been planned before these exchanges between President Trump and Pope Leo. Still, this was a moment for dialogue. The Pope said he had hoped they could reach a moment of understanding.
Fox's Madeline Rivera, tornadoes have twisted apart several Mississippi communities. At least 17 people are injured. Nearly 500 homes damaged. Trees and power lines are down. Some roads are blocked as crews go through hard-hit areas. The cruise ship, full of quarantined passengers, has finally found a port after a hantavirus outbreak that's left 3 people dead.
The MV Hondias is heading from the West African coast on its way to Spain's Canary Islands. The vessel is expected to dock in Tenerife maybe as soon as Saturday, where the Spanish health minister says everyone on board will undergo medical tests. And if they're healthy, they'll be permitted to travel back to their home countries.
That's Fox's Jeff Paul. There is some concern about some passengers who got off the ship after the outbreak started. America's listening to Fox News.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hand.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
That heat's going to be out there for one more day.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com. Connect to Fox News Audio on the Fox News app. Listen to hear your favorite hosts like Brian Kilmeade, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The voices America trusts. Download it now.
The search continues around Edmond, Oklahoma, for at least one more suspected gunman in Sunday night's mass shooting at a lake party that left a woman dead and 22 others injured. One suspect was arrested yesterday.
Mayor Mark Nash said shootings and gang violence are exceptions, not the rule, in his city.
This is not Edmond. What happened Sunday night is not Edmond.
Police say the argument that led to the shots that killed 18-year-old Aviana Smith Gray happened during a party at a venue that was not properly reserved. Mayor Nash said that will be addressed.
Because we want to look to the future and say, what can we do better? And that's not saying we failed.
The Edmond City Council and the commission that runs the lakeside venue are planning meetings next week to talk about procedure in the wake of the deadly shooting. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
The Southern Poverty Law Center, accused of breaking the law, has a court hearing today.
The arraignment's on charges of money laundering conspiracy, wire fraud, and false statements to a bank. Federal prosecutors in Montgomery, Alabama, accused the Southern Poverty Law Center of defrauding donors by failing to disclose that money would be paid to informants inside extremist groups like the Ku Klux Klan and Aryan Nations between 2014 and 2023. No individuals are charged. The SPLC says the informant program saved lives through monitoring threats of violence, often sharing that information with local and federal law enforcement. The organization was founded in Montgomery in 1971 to fight discrimination. accused by some conservatives of unfairly labeling right-wing organizations as extremist groups. Chris Foster, Fox News.
We just got an update on unemployment. First-time claims increased by about 5% last week to 200,000. There was a slight decrease in the number of people continuing to collect jobless benefits. Tomorrow, we'll get the monthly unemployment update and a report on how many jobs were created in April. On Wall Street, stock futures are rising the day after record highs for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Oil prices are down 5% this morning. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Sean Burns. The Louisiana Department of Health has released its annual report card on public drinking water systems, and there's some good news. Jeff Palermo has the story.
In 2024, there were 105 systems that received a D or F grade, and in 2025, that number fell to 90.
So we're definitely seeing water systems migrate out of that category through state and federal investment.
LDH's chief engineer, Stephen Joubert, says an F grade does not mean the water is unsafe to drink. He says the grade is based on 7 critical categories, including operation and maintenance, infrastructure sustainability, and customer satisfaction. 67% of the state's 909 community public water systems received an A grade. I'm Jeff Palermo.
Opelousas General Health System has introduced a first of its kind in Louisiana wound care technology that combines artificial intelligence, 3D printing, and a patient's own fat tissue to create a personalized graft. Doctors say the treatment is especially promising for patients living with chronic wounds, including those with diabetes. LRN. Researchers at Tulane University say it's only a matter of time before New Orleans gets swallowed up by Gulf waters. Lead researcher Torbjörg Tornquist, a professor of Earth and Environmental Sciences at Tulane, says due to climate change, sea level is gradually rising, and that'll lead to further coastal erosion.
At some point in the future, it's going to make this region, not just New Orleans, but basically coastal Louisiana, gradually turn into Gulf of Mexico.
The Senate Governmental Affairs Committee is set to begin public hearings at the Capitol on a new legislative map tomorrow. That after the Supreme Court declared the current one unconstitutional. ULM political science professor Pearson Cross says the most likely outcome is a map that yields 5 Republican-leaning districts and a single Democratic-leaning district.
I think there are lesser possibilities for a 6-0 map, all Republican, all white majority, and also for a 4-2 map, which has already been thrown out by the Supreme Court.
LRN.
Woodman Life reinvests in our communities through donations, volunteering, and supporting local programs. Our people and places are at the heart of everything we do. Get your life insurance quote at woodmanlife.org. Woodman Life is the brand name for Women of the World Life Insurance Society in Omaha, Nebraska. Ad number 80137.
Well, good morning. Cloudy skies on our Thursday and quite a bit cooler as you get out of the house today. 74 degrees will be the high. Winds will be out of the north and northeast, we'll say, at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Now, cloudy skies tonight. We'll go down to 62 for the overnight low. And then for Friday, showers early in the day. Some thunderstorms developing later. Afternoon highs near 74. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson. It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Good morning, and good morning. Welcome to Talkback on KSYL. Glad to have you along. Stephen Maxwell, Nathan Martin, welcoming the hero of the hour, Matt Ritchie, who is braving the, let's see here, Matt is braving the intrepid air of the KSYL studio, which may be infected by Stephen and me. We'll see.
I guess we should have told him before he got in here.
Well, so when you offered to let me just leave and go do the show from the truck.
you contemplated it, but you like, no, I'm going to man up.
I did. Look, I'm here, and I'm going to do it, and I'm just going to pray that I don't catch anything.
You can take that Lysol cloth and just make it like a COVID mask out of it. And,
you know what? It's a good idea.
I hear you just fine. So how are you doing, man?
Oh, doing fantastic. Thank y'all for accommodating me this week. This was a busy week. We were been traveling all over the country. We were in Missouri and California all last week and had a great week. And we're actually in Baton Rouge Monday and Tuesday morning. So great to be here. Got good sales to talk about. Looking forward to the show. We do have a 9 o'clock. I'm on the STAR committee for the Rapides Bears Police, the jury, and the Planning Commission. So there's actually a special meeting. I say special meeting. It's always the first Thursday of every month. But there is a meeting this morning at 9 o'clock, and it's being held actually at England Air Park in the England Authority chambers this morning at 9. There's several items on the agenda, so I look forward to participating in that.
Did they move it, you think, because of an anticipated turnout?
You know, I was actually going to call Matt Johns and ask him, but I didn't have an opportunity to. That may be because there's several items on the agenda, including the Meta Center. I'm calling it the Meta Center. The Applied Digital, the Applied Digital Center, which is anticipated to be a data center. So there's probably going to be folks inquiring about that.
That's 9 o'clock.
That's at 9 o'clock at an England Airport. England Airport at the England Authority. Second floor, I believe, is where they have their meeting room. So I'm gonna have to jet out a few minutes early to try to get there for 9 o'clock. So, well, let's go ahead and jump in. We had some good sales over the last 2 weeks. I'm going to be reporting on April 16th through April the 30th. Two of the largest sales that happened in that time period were hotels. We had 2 hotels sell. Both were on North MacArthur Drive, and I'll tell you the addresses: 2340 North MacArthur and 2344 North MacArthur. And so when I saw that, I automatically, before I even looked it up, realized that it was the Holiday Inn Express.
Oh, North MacArthur.
North MacArthur Drive. North MacArthur Drive. So if you want to know what $7 million looks like, that Alexandria Lodging Partners sells to Tiger Hospitality, 2340, which is the Holiday Inn Express, for $7 million. And I knew that same ownership group owned the property next door, which is the Candlewood Suites. And so 2344 North MacArthur, which is owned by which was the same ownership group, but they had a different name. I believe they create a new LLC for each hotel. Rapides Lodging Partners LLC sells to the Longhorn Hospitality LLC, which is same company that bought the Holiday Inn Express, same ownership group. But that sold for $5,900,000. So that just tells me, the Candlewood Suites were probably a few less rooms, because a lot of those things, hotels mainly trade on on number. They call it in the industry lingo is how many keys. So how many keys does that hotel have? And so that hotel probably had less keys than the Holiday Inn Express. And I would think the Holiday Inn Express had was probably a little. I actually had never been in any of the rooms at either one of those hotels, so I don't know what the condition of them were. They're a lot of the strategies on the hotel developers are that they build them. They put together the capital to build them. They stabilize them, which means they get them up and running, fully functional. They get 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe even up to 10 years worth of revenue built up to where it's a bankable deal for somebody to go sell it and go borrow money against it, because they want to have years of pro forma showing that it actually performs at a certain consistent level, and then they flip them. And I say flip them, they'll turn around and sell them once they get them stabilized. Matter of fact, I was just talking to a local hotel developer recently, and he was telling me the Holiday Inn Express in Pineville, it's been open for about 5 years now. And it's just now stabilized where it's getting consistent, regular cash flow. It had been on a, ebb and flow type, it kind of took 5 years, which was a little bit longer than anticipated and normal. But so that tells you how many, what's the demand for hotel rooms in Pineville.
May I ask you, it's not going to be in your notes, but the former Country Inn and Suites obviously lost that flag and was sold. And I'm sure that didn't hurt the Holiday Inn. Have you heard of any development coming in there?
I have heard that. And matter of fact, I don't know who is taking it over, but I'm trying to think what brand that I heard there was going to be. It may have been one of the Marriott brands, and I need that.
I heard Marriott.
And they have a dozen. And when I say a dozen different brands, it wouldn't be a Marriott. It would be a Residence Inn. It'd be a Spring Hill Suites. I mean, they have all those little different.
Fairfield, Weston.
Yeah, exactly. And so, hopefully, I'd love to see a Marriott brand because a lot of folks follow some people are like I'm traveling. I'm a big Bonvoy is the Marriott rewards program.
And it's great that they have so many flags you can use it in.
It really is, and I can tell you can do it. Obviously not only throughout the country, but obviously even when you travel internationally, you can know that you're going to get a decent hotel based off the brand that you get. So it'd be great to see if we got a Marriott brand because they do require their owners to maintain the hotel to a certain level, and it's really nice to depend on that. And I can tell you, as much as I've been traveling, it really does make a difference depending on where you're at, even if you're in a small town or big city. So 2 of the largest transactions, that's almost $13 million worth of transactions just in those 2 the last 2 weeks of April. Another interesting sale was I saw a billboard sale. Sayer Outdoor Advertising sells to Focus Outdoor LLC out of Glenmore. I couldn't track down exactly which one it was. I believe the Sayers, I know they have a sign on the Pineville Expressway to the right. If you're going south on the expressway going from Pineville and Alexandria to the right at Jones Street, the Sayers have a
double-decker.
They have a double-decker. And so I'm pretty sure that was it. If I'm wrong, if Sayers or Focus Outdoor want to correct me, please give me a call and let us know where we're at, just to give you some promotion for your billboard. But that sold for about, if you want to know what those signs sell for, that was about $175,000 sale.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, speaking of calls, somebody's already taken advantage of that opportunity. Good morning. You're on Talk Back with Matt Ritchie.
Yeah, what's going on Vandenberg near the diversion canal? I see a bunch of workers out there clearing.
Well, I can tell you it needs to be cleared. I mean, I own a property over there close by, and I've been over there a good bit recently, and it's just stagnant water. The water's not flowing. And looking after a rain last night, our canals and our drainage ditches need to be flowing. I mean, I can tell you right now, we had water issues on a couple of properties last night. I was talking with the city last night at 9:00 at night because I had tenants going, "Hey, we got water getting close." So and our ditches are filled up, and so the city official told me that our drainage ditches and canals are designed to handle about 1 inch per hour, and when you have a 4 inch rain in a couple of hours, I mean that really impacts the capacity of what our drainage looks like. So we've got to do a better job. I say do a better job. We got to continue to work on cleaning our drainage ditches to get all that water out of the city. But so if there's work over there, I'm hoping it's drainage out of that little canal.
Oh no, it's not drainage. It's before you get to the canal. There's kind of
on the Highway 28 west side of the canal or the other side.
Okay. You're going down Versailles from Jackson Street Extension.
Uh-huh.
And you come out of all the built-up areas, and you get to where there's woods on the left-hand side before you get to that canal.
Oh, I thought you said McKithen Drive.
I thought you said Vandenberg, but now we're saying... Tell me which road again we're talking about?
I think he's saying for Versailles.
Okay.
Versailles. Now there was a 40-acre tract there that's been for sale for a long, long time. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it sell recently. I do know that there was. It's been for sale for a long time, and I don't know what's going on there. I'll go by and I'll check it out and I'll report on the next show. But thank you for that clarification. I could have swore you said McKithen Drive, so forgive me for that.
Well, whatever I said, I meant Versailles.
I got you. Now, well, thank you. Look, I'll check it out, and I appreciate you asking about it, and I'll find out.
By the way, it seems odd that New Orleans floods and their system is supposed to handle 1 inch an hour. And so here we are, 180 feet above sea level?
Yeah.
And 1 inch an hour floods us?
Well, an inch is not supposed to, but 2 to 4 could, and anything above 4 will. You can be guaranteed of that. It's like Tom David has often said, you don't build a church sanctuary for your Easter crowd.
Are you talking about flooding on the roads or flooding in homes? Is there a lot of flooding in homes after yesterday?
I haven't heard of any home flooding. I've had some commercial properties where, like there's loading wells, right? And so you have pumps in those wells, but the pumps are working, but the water's the water's pushing back because it doesn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, because we used to get calls all the time in my previous job where they'd be like, "There's flooding on the roads. It's ridiculous." Like, there are the roads in your house. That's where it's supposed to go.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate the call. We got to take a break, but I have some breaking news from Matt Johns. He said the airport wanted to host the STAR committee because it's a huge project in their sub-district, not really expecting a huge turnout. So that's why they asked to host it, because it's in their sub-district. So it probably has something to do with...
Ask him if I'm going to miss anything if I don't go.
Okay, I'll text him that during the break. But STAR stands for, help me if I'm right, Subdivision Technical Advisory Review?
That's right.
Okay, so that's where, and any subdivision, not just subdivisions where people build houses. It can be a subdivision for commercial use.
Any subdivision of any property, of any parcel in the parish.
There you go.
And Matt, thank you for calling in and sharing that insight. Thank you.
All right, we'll be back after this.
KSYL. If you've ever wanted to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself, and didn't know where to start, Janney King Gulf Coast has already built the foundation for you. With guaranteed initial customers, hands-on training, and ongoing local support, you'll never feel like you're doing it alone, because you won't be. For over 35 years, we've helped people turn their dreams into real successful businesses. Take the next step. Discover a business built for you at JaneyKingCleans.com.
Janney King, the king of clean.
Got a big day ahead of you? Then it's best to fuel up with some of St. best at Bricato's Restaurant. Walk right in and just smell that home-style cooking. Place your order, take a seat, and do breakfast right till 9:30 this morning. Get fresh biscuits, eggs any way you like them, melt-in-your-mouth pancakes, grits, hash browns, sausage, bacon, even wraps and sandwiches. And don't forget their fresh brewed coffee. Bricato's Restaurant, 28 West, right across from the Coliseum. Your breakfast is waiting for you.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
It's Talkback 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
Welcome back to Talk Back. We're getting all kinds of great information that we can share with you. Matt always has tremendous information about what's coming up and what's happening. If you see dirt being moved in Central Louisiana and you want to know what's going on, call 318-442-8255. Matt will either answer your question directly, make up an answer, or promise to give you an answer on the next show. I'm kidding about the second one. That would be me. And speaking of which, I prompted a call, I guess. So here we go back to the phone line. Good morning. You're on Talk Back with Matt Ritchie, who will not make up an answer, I promise you.
Good morning, gentlemen. This is Rick Ransom.
Hey, Rick. How are you, sir?
Doing fine. I want to catch up on the last caller. Matt, good. What I think he may be talking about, what he may be talking about on Versailles, is the right of way along that canal that goes to that property that the nursing home bought.
Right.
I don't know if it's the beginning of the development of the nursing home, but anyway, it just cleared out from Versailles to the nursing home property along that right of way. Another thing, and Matt, I just sent you a text. I just left Broadway. Everything's dry.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're exactly right, though. Our system is not designed to handle 4 inches of rain. But I think we had 4.1 on our gauges during the event. But we did go out. Every pump was working. All the drainage, the major drainage at least that we checked, was clear. And, the system was just overwhelmed. But the other thing, too, is, and this is not casting aspersion, it's no excuse, but once the water leaves the city, it flows down south. We don't know about those arteries, whether they're clear or not clear. But I can tell you yesterday was a unusual event, and for the most part, I think everything worked well. And when the streets flood, some streets, that's part of the drainage, to be honest with you. You keep it out of the house, to flow down the streets to the outfall. So overall, it was just a lot of rain in a short amount of time. The system worked as it should have. It was just overwhelmed.
Well, now, Rick, and I appreciate you giving that update, and I appreciate you following up on what we had talked about last night. I really do. And I know the city was just inundated. Did you hear Did you hear anything any flooding that did happen? Have you heard anything about any homes or businesses that flooded yesterday or last night?
I have not.
Okay.
I have not.
And I have not either.
Not saying the word.
Right.
Yeah, I think there were some areas, that are traditionally low and we have traditionally problems with. We checked all those. Obviously, there was water there, but nothing going into a business or a resident. Now, after that, I don't know.
Right.
Rick, I think that's an important point to make, though, is that in some of the corridors, the street itself is the drainage if there's not subsurface drainage. And if you see water there, it's actually operating as it should until it gets to that outfall. So that's a great observation.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Anyway,
well, thanks for coming.
Spoken like a true statesman.
In case anyone doesn't know, that's Rick Rance with the City of Alexandria.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so,
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it. Got another call?
Yeah, we do. Let's jump over that next one. Good morning. You'll talk back with Matt Ritchie. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air with Matt.
Earl. Yes, Matt. How you doing? This is Earl. I own a small business in Grant Parish, and I'm looking to expand into Rapides and everything. I'm looking for a certain building. I found a vacant building on 165 South, but I can't get no information on it at all.
Really? Is it just sitting there vacant? No, not for sale or anything? It's just sitting there.
Just sitting there vacant, no for sale sign on it. The grass is overgrown on it. The address is 7357 US 165.
Send it. Give me a reference point. I'm trying to. What part of 165 is that on?
The south part, like you hang in Lake Charles. It's probably 500 yards or maybe quarter mile from the U.S. Mullins building.
I know.
On the left side as you're going.
Yeah, I know the building you're talking about. Actually, Ronnie Price developed that little tract of land. He bought that property probably 15 years ago, if not longer, and then sold 3 commercial lots off of it. That particular lot was one that a foundation company out of Houston called I think it was Arbor Brothers or something like that. They bought it, and it's just been sitting there for a long, long time.
That's not the one that was abandoned because of a driveway issue, is it?
No, because it had a working driveway at one time. Yeah, I mean, it was a legal functioning building at one time. But no, they if you want me to look into it, I'll certainly track those folks down. If you want to give me a call at the office.
Okay, I would appreciate, because I've done contacted 2 different realtors and they have not came up with nothing on it.
Well, let's see what we can do. How about that? Call my office at 449-8919, and we'll stay in touch and we'll work on this real quick for you and see if we can make something happen.
I appreciate it, Matt. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that call, Matt. That was great. Good information. I told people you wouldn't make it up, but also you would know. I mean, the fact that you know who used to own it and who last person that owned it, that's just amazing. Your breadth of knowledge
well, it just comes. It's just being around and seeing it, and I've tell people often, I'm not really good at a lot of things. I'm really not. But I know real estate in Central Louisiana. That's about the only thing I've gotten good at over the last 30 years. And I love what I do. I love what I do, and especially when you're born here, been here all your life, and pay attention, and so I appreciate that. And are we up for a break before I get into some more? We got about a minute and a half.
I don't know if there's anything we can talk about. I can throw you a question. Maybe I can throw you a curveball.
No, look, I've got some good sales. I'm going to go ahead and mention another sale. The Dowell Trust sells to J.G.E. Tishner Properties, both Alexandria owners and sellers, to actually maybe in in-kind sale. 5612 Jackson Street looks like what happened is maybe the next door neighbor owner bought from the trust. And it was one of those little houses, on that stretch of Jackson Street when you're passing up Versailles and you get past Walmart and Burger King, and then a lot of those houses were turned into commercial properties.
Right.
It was one of those old houses, 5612 Jackson Street, $198,000 sale, which is about what I would expect for a home that's been converted into an office, a commercial office right there on that stretch at Jackson Street. A lot of those have been converted very, very nicely. We actually have the former Morning, Noon, and Diet building for sale, which has two little houses on either side of it. We've had it for sale. It's a restaurant building, and so it's about a $500,000 sale, but it's a 5,000 square foot building with a little brick home that could be converted into a commercial office. So I'm just throwing that little tidbit out there for anybody that is looking for a restaurant building in Alexandria. So I got some other interesting sales when we come back after this break.
KSYL. This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The flat housing market is weighing on Zillow. The online real estate marketplace gave a financial forecast that missed Wall Street's expectations. Zillow says the 2026 housing market is off to a slower start than most anticipated, and they're not planning for it to get any better this year. Mortgage rates have climbed from a recent low at the end of February, which could weigh on home buying activity in the coming months. And sticker shock at the butcher shop. If you've bought beef lately, you felt it. Prices for hamburgers and steaks are more expensive than ever. The average cost of ground beef is now averaging a record of nearly $7 a pound. The U.S. cattle herd is the smallest it's been in decades, squeezed by drought and high feed costs. And Krispy Kreme is expanding. The company plans to open at least 100 new shops this year. The donut chain says growth in the U.S. is being driven by sales through third-party retailers like Walmart and Target. And when it comes to weight loss drugs, Krispy Kreme says it's focused on offering customers choices, including smaller portion options like mini donuts. Erica Herskowitz, Bloomberg Radio.
Leadership matters. In Pineville, Mayor Joe Bishop has focused on doing things the right way, being transparent, responsible, and accountable to the people he serves. That means making smart decisions, respecting taxpayer dollars, and showing up every day ready to do the job. No shortcuts, no special treatment. Just steady leadership you can trust. Let's keep Pineville moving forward. Vote Joe Bishop for mayor.
I'm Joe Bishop, and I'd appreciate your vote.
Paid for by the campaign to elect Joe Bishop.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. Stop paying the big guys twice what you need to. Dial pound 250, say my name. That's pound 250 micro to switch to Pure Talk, where the savings are truly unlimited.
We promised you a first-class country music cruise, and the first sailing of Top Shelf Country Cruise delivered. The bar's set, and nothing less will do. In March 2027, we're setting sail on the luxurious Celebrity Summit, departing from Tampa, stopping in Bimini, Key West, and Cozumel. See performances by headliner Riley Green, Chris Young, Lauren Elena, Randy Houser, and more. Your favorite country stars will be on board. Will you be? Book any available cabin at TopShelfCountryCruise.com.
Well, good morning. Cloudy skies on our Thursday and quite a bit cooler as you get out of the house today. 74 degrees will be the high. Winds will be out of the north and northeast, we'll say, at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Now, cloudy skies tonight. We'll go down to 62 for the overnight low. And then for Friday, showers early in the day. Some thunderstorms developing later. Afternoon highs near 74. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
All right, welcome back to Talkback. You're going to hear me say something out of order. It's the final segment. with Matt Ritchie because he's got to head out to the Subdivision Technical Advisory Review Committee meeting taking place at England Air Park this morning. So in the final minutes, I know you got some more great news to share with us.
Yeah, let me jump into talk about a few sales. Eagle Properties of Alexandria sells to Amir Tawil, which is two Alexandria buyers and sellers. Lot 1 of Evergreen Plantation, about $500,000 to be exact. 4810 Lee Street, which is the bingo hall. So we all know where the bingo hall is, right there on the corner of South MacArthur and Lee Street. It's about a 22,500 square foot building, and it sold for $500,000. And so when I saw the address, I said, man, what a good deal for that whole shopping center. But it's only part of it. It's literally, truly, it's connected to the rest of it, but it's really only the bingo hall.
Who bought it?
Amir Tawil. He lives in a local resident in Alexandria. I don't know if I would imagine they're going to continue to operate the bingo hall. I'm not sure. I don't know the specifics about
Unless
it.
the international market across the street is going to expand.
That's what I was wondering, honestly.
You never know, because I don't know how if bingo is still a thing. If people are going in, and I know people do it on their phones and digitally, but so anyway,
our older population's gone into mahjong. So we're moving to that.
We'll talk about that on another show. I've got a couple of sales. I want to talk about this one residential sale because there is some legislation going on in the state legislature right now regarding wholesaling. And wholesaling is an act where investors are going in and tying up your property and saying, hey, I'll give you this. But they really don't have any intentions on buying it. And then what they do is they're putting a contract on it. And for unsophisticated sellers, and the reason why the legislation is in place is because it's impacting, really unsophisticated, the senior population who really don't know, and they're being told this and saying, hey, I'll buy your property as is, where is, and I'll give you this for it. And this is a prime example. And I'm calling this out. If anybody that's part of this, I'm just calling it out how it is. A Miss Fletcher, who had a North Carolina address, who owned 231 Twin Oaks Road in Pineville. Twin Oaks subdivision is a little subdivision off of Highway 28 East, back behind Crest Industries. I believe William Barron developed that subdivision back in the 90s or late 80s, early 90s. A good little subdivision, but she sold to a company called House Love Treatment Buyer, LLC, out of Camelback Road, Phoenix, Arizona. So that tells me that's a wholesaler. Based off their name, I can tell that's a wholesale group. But Lot 8 of Twin Oaks subdivision for $100,000. All right, and there's a $200,000 house, right? Now it probably needed some work. Okay. It probably had some deferred maintenance, probably never been updated, but still, that was a really low price for that house. And then so immediately, the House Love Treatment Buyer LLC buys it from Sally Fletcher for $100,000. Same day sells to H4 Investments LLC for $130,000. So that's a prototypical house wholesaling house flip right there.
Wow.
Now, I mean, we don't know. I don't know anything about Sally Fletcher. I'm not sure what the background was on the story, but they obviously. But there's companies out there preying on unsophisticated sellers, and that's why it's so important, really, to hire true professionals. People think that, well, I don't want to pay commission. I don't want to do this, but a realtor's going to protect you. They're going to get you what the property's worth. They're going to get you what the property, because we have a code of ethics. We have, been around for 117 years, and it's operated really well. And our profession has a purpose. And so hire a realtor who actually tell you what the property's worth and get you what you should, because obviously, Ms. Fletcher should have got $130,000 for it.
If it sold the same day.
It sold the same day.
Well, I also heard of another one where these national brokers are contacting local realtors and said, hey, I've got a deal for you. I've already got a buyer. Yeah. Will you do it at 1.5%? But you also have to, pay us back 25% of that.
Right.
And you got to cover all all your existing advertising costs and whatnot.
Oh yeah, no, there's a lot of that goes on. Oh, there's a ton of that going on.
Really?
And the reality is, and these folks are just they're getting the lead, and they're wanting the local boots on the ground to do all the work. But they want to take half the money. And so it's a it's a very, you just got to watch what you're doing and who you're dealing with.
Well, that's why you need a realtor. All right, so I know you got to go, but you got time for one more call?
Yeah, let's take it.
Let's do this. Caller, good morning. You're on Talk Back with Matt Ritchie.
Good morning, and Nathan, you might know the answer to this, and y'all may have already talked about it. What's going in over by the 5-minute oil change in front of kind of Walmart next to Popeyes there in Pineville?
As far as I know, that's Tommy Antoon's property. I don't know that anything's going on. Now, he put a driveway in there because
no, but they're doing dirt work now. I mean, they got the backhoes in there and all that. So
well, that's a good question. I'm gonna find out. That's a good drive-by call report, and I'm gonna find that out pretty quick. So thank you, and I'll report on next time.
Yeah, I've been driven by there in a few days, so thank you so much for that.
All right.
Matt, we'll check it out and let us know. Thank you for that call. We appreciate it. All right, Matt, I know you got to run. Got to get over to the Star Committee, excuse me. If there's anything breaking, let us know. But
I will definitely call in and thank y'all, and we'll see y'all in a couple of weeks.
2 weeks. Matt Ritchie, the Cenla Economic Update, and the national candidate for the treasurer of the National Association of Realtors. Good luck in 42 days.
Thank you.
KSYL.
Tired of that same plumbing issue? Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling. Plumbing problems, large or small, Southern Air will fix them all. And you'll get service with no delay from certified technicians the very same day. Take advantage of our $99 drain clearing special and our 0% financing for those larger jobs. Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling at 318-777-5555 or visit us online at southernairnow.com. The official heating and cooling provider for LSU football.
Tired of noisy neighbors? Want to keep pets in and problems out? Sounds like you need a Promo fence. At Promo Fencing and Lawn Care, our fences don't just work, they wow. From classic cedar and pine privacy fences to durable chain link, sleek metal, and aluminum, even decorative fencing. We've got something for every home, yard, or business, big or small, residential or commercial. All with free estimates, expert installs, and small town customer care. Promo Fencing and Lawn Care. Fences that feel like home.
Now back to Talk Back, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
Welcome back to Talk Back. As we're joined in this morning, Matt Ritchie has just left the building. That means that neither Elvis nor Matt are in the building. So Matt is headed over to the Star Committee and had to cut his segment short today, but he'll be back on the third Tuesday coming up shortly. Hey, I mentioned to you a nice little segment that Al Quartermont did for Cenla Broadcasting of LCU watching the tournament, or actually watching the announcement show to see where their placement would be. And so we're going to go to that report right now on Cenla Broadcasting.
The number 2 seed is Louisiana.
An exciting day over here at Louisiana Christian University as the LCU baseball team officially finds out that they are heading back to the NAIA regional tournament. They'll head to Lawrenceville, Georgia as the number 2 seed to take on number 3 Marion coming up on May 11th.
And we had a good idea this year that we had a good shot, but it wasn't a guarantee. We were just banking on the committee liking us and having respect for us. And so this year there was a lot of anticipation. Every number that got called, we were just either hoping it was us and a few times hoping it wasn't us. Once you see your name up there on the screen, it's just an excitement that's hard to explain.
You deserve to be where you're at. Understand that. You deserve to be in the situation that we're going to.
Lawrenceville is where the Wildcats went 2 years ago. They ended up going 2-2 in the tournament that time, but falling to the eventual top seed Gwinnett, a team they'll have to try to get past once again.
This year, in the past few years, showing what we've kind of grown and shown what me and the guys in this locker room have built, just to be able to say that we're going back to the same place as a 2 seed, and we have that much more respect by the nation, and we've been able to show what we can do and what we're capable of.
And maybe a potential good omen for the Wildcats. Before they met to watch the selection show, one of the players found what you could describe as a new mascot.
As you can see, it's pouring outside. We got a storm going on right now, and I've never seen the outfield this flooded. It's about knee deep of water outside at my truck. And Aiden Thibodeau, one of our pitchers, walked in. He said, "Hey boys, I got a turtle." And we were like, "All right, let's just keep it. We put it in a little box, named it Timmy, and I think we're gonna bring it to the regional. Don't tell Burns though."
Great job, gentlemen. Love y'all.
The number 2 seed is Louisiana.
An exciting day over here at Louisiana Christian University as the LCU baseball team officially finds out that they are heading back to the NAIA regional tournament. They'll head to Lawrenceville, Georgia as the number 2 seed to take on number 3 Marion coming up on May 11th.
And we had a good idea this year that we had a good shot, but it wasn't a guarantee. We were just banking on the committee liking us and having respect for us. And so this year there was a lot of anticipation. Every number that got called, we were just either hoping it was us and a few times hoping it wasn't us. Once you see your name up there on the screen, it's just an excitement that's hard to explain.
You deserve to be where you're at. Understand that. You deserve to be in the situation that we're going to.
Lawrenceville is where the Wildcats went 2 years ago. They ended up going 2-2 in the tournament that time, but falling to the eventual top seed Gwinnett, a team they'll have to try to get past once again.
This year, in the past few years, showing what we've kind of grown and shown what me and the guys in this locker room have built, just to be able to say that we're going back to the same place as a 2 seed, and we have that much more respect by the nation, and we've been able to show what we can do and what we're capable of.
And maybe a potential good omen for the Wildcats. Before they met to watch the selection show, one of the players found what you could describe as a new mascot.
As you can see, it's pouring outside. We got a storm going on right now, and I've never seen the outfield this flooded. It's about knee deep of water outside at my truck. And Aiden Thibodeau, one of our pitchers, walked in. He said, "Hey boys, I got a turtle." And we were like, "All right, let's just keep it. We put it in a little box, named it Timmy, and I think we're gonna bring it to the regional. Don't tell Burns though."
Great job, gentlemen. Love y'all.
The number 2 seed is Louisiana.
An exciting day over here at Louisiana Christian University as the LCU baseball team officially finds out that they are heading back to the NAIA regional tournament. They'll head to Lawrenceville, Georgia as the number 2 seed to take on number 3 Marion coming up on May 11th.
We were just banking on the committee liking us and having respect for us. And so this year there was a lot of anticipation. Every number that got called, we were just either hoping it was us and a few times hoping it wasn't us. Once you see your name up there on the screen, it's just an excitement that's hard to explain.
You deserve to be where you're at. Understand that. You deserve to be in the situation that we're going to.
Lawrenceville is where the Wildcats went 2 years ago. They ended up going 2-2 in the tournament that time, but falling to the eventual top seed Gwinnett, a team they'll have to try to get past once again.
This year, in the past few years, showing what we've kind of grown and shown what me and the guys in this locker room have built, just to be able to say that we're going back to the same place as a 2 seed. And we have that much more.
And maybe a potential good omen for the Wildcats. Before they met to watch the selection show, one of the players found what you could describe as a new mascot.
As you can see, it's pouring outside. We got a storm going on right now, and I've never seen the outfield this flooded. It's about knee deep of water outside at my truck. And Aiden Thibodeau, one of our pitchers, walked in. He said, "Hey boys, I got a turtle." And we were like, "All right, let's just keep it. We put it in a little box, named it Timmy, and I think we're gonna bring it to the regional. Don't tell Burns though."
Great job, gentlemen. Love y'all.
All right, there you have it. There's the great story coming to you. Al Quartermont brought that. The moment that Louisiana Christian University baseball team punched their ticket, as it says, to the NAIA tournament. Also, congratulations over to LSUA, who also got their ticket punched, and they've earned a bid to that tournament. So it's going to be great to see 2 Cenla teams going to the bracket. We have a phone call on the line, and they dropped off, so sorry about that. Would have loved to got to you. But, hey, just want to give a huge shout-out. Coach Mike Burns over there at LCU and the whole group over at LSUA, both schools just bringing it. Sports excellence. And here's that call again. Let's go back to it. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Stephen and Nathan.
Good morning. I didn't want to mention this when Matt was on earlier when I was talking about the place in Pineville, but did either one of y'all watch or listen to the debate the other day between Fleming and Julia Letlow?
I did I went back and watched it on, I think, I forget which station carried the video, which I thought was even better than the audio.
Yeah. So anyway, I just thought she talked in circles, didn't really answer a lot of the questions, and tried to deflect from. She didn't really talk about what she's done overall. And Fleming came across as much more prepared and knowledgeable about the situation and what the job entails and all this, instead of all she kept saying was, Donald Trump endorsed me and all that. So I wanted to see what you thought of what you heard and see if it's just me that perceived it that way, or did it come across like that to other folks as well?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that Stephen will say anything. He maintains his journalistic integrity.
I just didn't watch it. I'm sorry. I know I should have watched it.
I thought that John Fleming won the debate. I felt like his answers were more substantive, and I think it's hard for, they both were taking shots at each other, and the shot, right. People are clipping things, and I think we ought to stop listening to news from now until May 16th. Any ads, because there's going to be some new ads that pop up, but the statements about, I think his consistency. To me, he had more gravitas in the way that he presented himself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He came across not so much as polished as much as it was that he's prepared and knows what the job entails and what he's been through, other than her just relying on, well, I got Trump's endorsement and why didn't he endorse you and this, that, and the other. And I'm a firm supporter of Trump, but, sometimes you got to read between the lines. I don't know that she's done a whole lot there. And some of the things I think she's done since the last a month or so, or 2 months, have been because she's running for this Senate seat and she wanted something that she could tout, that I pushed this through to the Senate and waiting on them to vote on it or whatever. But yeah, she came across as ungenuine, I guess, is the easiest way for me to term I use. So anyway,
well,
she
got some zingers in too. There was one where he made the comment that he didn't get the endorsement because he was blocked to get to the president, and that after the endorsement was made and Trump was like, why didn't you reach out? And he said, well, I tried and I was blocked. And so her answer was, so for 13 months you couldn't get to the president. I've got the president's cell phone number on my phone. That was a great comeback, right? But then his answer was, because you're a sitting member of Congress, you should have his cell phone number. So there was I thought it was some great back and forth. Carbon capture was discussed as it should have been. It was, each of them had to make some statements where they stood on that. I look, hats off to Moon Griffon for hosting it at the TV station up in Shreveport. Now, Moon, yesterday I listened to some of his analysis of it, and he's like, he still stands on the fact that Bill Cassidy should have come. There's no way Bill Cassidy's going to come on a debate that's moderated by a man who's called him Psycho Bill for years. There's just no way he's going to do that, right?
Exactly.
And his last question, which he said was not scripted, basically asked the two candidates, why haven't y'all gone after Bill Cassidy more? Well, the bias was certainly there. I don't fault Cassidy for not going, but every poll I've seen shows him losing to either one of those two. Yeah, and why would he want to go? Exactly what you said. You beat me up for 5 years. Why would I want to go, put myself in front of you for you to talk down to me again? So really enjoy the show, guys. Thank you, man.
So much.
Always appreciate your calls. We got to take the final break. We'll be back with the final segment after this.
Business owners, managers, and industrial leaders, this is your moment to shape the future of Central Louisiana. Join us for Rally the Region, a dynamic, free event bringing everyone together to strengthen our workforce and grow our economy, featuring nationally recognized speaker Mark Perna, delivering insights on building the talent pipeline your business needs to succeed.
happening Tuesday, May 12th from 8 to noon at the England Airport Community Center. Don't miss your seat at the table. Register now at rallysinlaw.com.
Hey, check this out.
Okay.
It says here we get to vote on constitutional amendments on May 16th. Looks like Amendment 4 will finally phase out that inventory tax. So businesses don't pay that crazy tax on stuff stored in a warehouse or just on their store shelves. It'll create jobs, grow our economy, and help lower prices.
Well, I like lower prices. Now, look here at Constitutional Amendment 3. It will modernize things, restructure certain education funds to support teacher pay raises, and strengthen the teacher retirement fund without raising taxes. Amendments 3 and 4 are both great.
So we vote May 16th, or in early voting, yes on Amendment 3 for the teacher pay raise, and yes on Amendment 4 to cut the inventory tax, lowering prices and creating jobs.
Well, that's a no-brainer. Let's vote yes on 3 and 4.
Yes on 3 and 4. Now, let's go ahead and order. I'm so ready to eat.
Paid for by Cajun Pack 2.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL. Now back to Talk Back.
All right, welcome back to Talk Back. We are in the final segment, just got a couple of minutes away before the news will take us away, and then you'll have Moon again. And we were just talking about his show in the last segment with the call there about that great debate. I do think it was worth listening to. I think people ought to listen to it and make a decision. You know, I have a lot of respect for Julia Letlow. She stepped into an undesirable position when her husband died of coronavirus, and basically she was tapped as a grieving widow into that role. And there was a lot of sympathy for her. And, you know, I think that she's been I don't want this to sound like a criticism at all, but she's been a good placeholder. She's been respectful. I don't think her heart is there. It feels to me like her heart is still in higher education. I think she'd rather be a university president somewhere.
Then why run for? I just don't know why you'd run for office. You don't.
Well, and she says she was asked to. Apparently, the people in Trump's circle were looking for a candidate they thought could defeat. The gloves have started to come off with Trump towards Cassidy more recently. He used to say somewhat nice things, but he's not saying nice things anymore, especially after the whole Surgeon General flap.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. I think it's between Fleming and Letlow at this point. I just don't know how Southeast Louisiana and other parts of the state are thinking about Cassidy.
You
just never know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Yeah. The thing that bothers me, though, is like when an ad goes after somebody and clearly cuts their words out and takes away their clarification, where they were going to clarify what they misspoke, but they cut it out, they take the clarification out, and they present the misstatement as if it were his position. If they did that for anybody, that's just untrue, dishonest politics. And it makes me, and it wasn't necessarily Julia Letlow's campaign, but a PAC associated with her campaign or supporting her campaign did that. So that bothers me. I don't like any kind of dishonest representations in politics. So.
But that's always how politics works too.
It is.
You always have not that, but yeah, that it is. But when a politician says, well, I really don't want to do this, but I'm doing it for the good of the people. Okay, maybe so. I know you're a politician, so you can speak to it better than I can, but not having your heart in it, going into the U.S. Senate.
No, that's And look, that's an assumption. She says she's got fire in her belly, and she touts her youthfulness that she could get the years of seniority that her youthfulness would allow. Whereas Fleming, I think, he's either in his late 60s, early 70s. You know, he wouldn't have those years of seniority. But then they kind of both danced around the term limits question too. You know, I don't think any one of them, they may give lip service to term limits, but they both want to see seniority. So, oh well.
What do you think of term limit? I'm kind of mixed on the term limits thing. Like if the constituents don't want them there, they'll vote them out.
That's generally my thought process on that. I know there are some candidates who put self-imposed term limits. Jacques Roy did that after 2 terms. He just voluntarily stepped down, and then he came back. And he probably would have won that 3rd race had he chose to run. But he said, look, I'm doing a self-imposed term limits. And I have a lot of respect for the way he's run City of Alexandria. I think he runs it very professionally and businesslike. I guess I'm term limiting myself, but I've been in there for 6 terms. So that's that's a lot. I get it. And it is time for new faces and new ideas and fresh perspectives. So what I'm going to do is go back to praying. like today, the National Day of Prayer. I will be over at City Hall at 12:15, leading folks in that prayer gathering. I'm so grateful that the Lord gave my voice back during the show, and I can do that. I was a little worried. Ball at 11:30, and then tonight out at Philadelphia Baptist Church, the community-wide prayer gathering hosted by Pastor Ricky Belgard. Hope you guys will come join us. No matter what you do today, whatever the concern on your heart, let your petitions be made known to God through prayer and supplication, and let the peace of God rule in your heart. That's my hope for you today. God bless you. Y'all have a great day. Al and Stephen tomorrow.
Give me a 2-second countdown, and I'll give a zinger just so no one can answer.
4, 3, 2.
Everyone's bad.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenla Broadcasting.
AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3 HD3, Alexandria. It's 9 o'clock.
A Catholic goes to the Vatican. I'm Dave Anthony.